Well, welcome to NRL from the Sidelines. This is you're with Tom, Brown and Steve, and we're just going to wait for Tom to finish his texting.
It's the wife, okay?
It's the wife. So we're going to go anyway because this is important. This is an important show and we wanted to get this out to all of you. We are back for another year. We've decided, yes, even though we had a lot of complaints and a lot of people grizzling about last year, we're going to come back anyway. Yeah, it's mainly from him. And so we're going to do it a little bit differently this year. As you can see, we have a different set. A beautiful jersey in the background, but we'll go into more about that later. And we will try over time to get some other club memorabilia up here. Where's Jake?
No, Jake's over by the door.
Yeah, Jake's on the rocking horse.
Jake's lying down, and so we will try and get. But for this week, this is the set you've got, and for those we have a whole range of new listeners. New watchers, new viewers. I don't know what we call them, but we call them
fans.
Fans. Oh no, let's not go too far. We don't have fans. So what we're going to do is we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Stephen. This is Tom. That's Brian.
We didn't introduce ourselves. Steve just did.
I
take in charge.
And these are the lunatics, and I'm the sane one of the organisation. So as you'll find out as you go along.
Because he decides that.
Well, that's right. I'm speaking.
Anyway.
So what we're going to do, I also want to just take 2 seconds of your time to just talk about the show and about, I guess, a few house rules. We have a lot of fun on this show. We have a lot of banter. We rib each other about our teams and about games and about certain things. But we don't ever get abusive, and we try and minimise the swearing, and we want to do that the same on Facebook as well. So please join in the banter, have some fun with this show, but we don't take ourselves too seriously at all. In fact, I don't even think seriously is a word we use ever.
We've been friends a long time, so we get our...
I can use seriously in the sentence. Seriously? The Roosters and Bunnies?
And you'll get just how long we've been friends by the fact that we halfway through the year we probably won't be talking to each other again. So anyway, so what we're going to do, and this year we're going to break the show up into two. We're going to do a weekly show which will talk about the week before. And then we're going to have another one that'll have talk about the weekend coming. So we'll actually be posting 2 shows, so keep an eye out for those. They will be 2 spectacular shows every week. Quality out of this roof. Out of this planet, out of this atmosphere. It's going to be really big.
People are reaching for the turn-off switch now, so let's go.
Why? You don't think they like listening to me talk?
No,
don't even answer that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about the games coming up. Gentlemen, I should ask you, how's your week been?
It's been good.
Can I just say...
How's your off-season been?
Long this is the first time in a long time I'm not particularly excited about the football season starting.
Why is that? Because most people pick to come last?
And I think before we start and pick the games, we should actually go through our Premiers, Wooden Spooners, top 8.
Oh, do you want to do that?
I do
you want to do that now before we even talk about it?
Before.
We'd like you to post your top 8, your Premiers prediction and your Wooden Spooners prediction on the Facebook site, NRL from the Sidelines, where you would have found the show. And we would love to hear your comments on it and tell these 2 nuffies that they're all over the place with
well,
their
actually, you
choices.
tell me I'm right, he's wrong. Yeah, okay. So, Brian, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Would you like me to go through my whole ladder?
No, I just want you to go through the top 8.
Top 8.
Now, this is in order of finish.
In order.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I have the Panthers and the Bunnies finishing equal first.
So you should.
One game
equal first.
Equal first, 38 points.
All right, wow.
I have the Roosters just behind them, 1 game behind, and Storm 1 behind that.
Have you gone through the whole season and worked out who's going to win?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And so that's the top 4, and I don't think there's much doubt about that. There's a bit of a break back to the Raiders and the Titans.
Right.
And then the Eagles and the Eels.
Oh, you've got the Eagles in there.
Yeah, so I've got Eagles, Eels, and then Knights, Tigers, Warriors, because I think they're all about equal. And then there's the bottom dwellers, Sharks, Cowboys, Dogs, who will all improve. And I think the Broncos and the Dragons are destined for the last 2 spots, with the Dragons at the very rear with their first
Wooden
spoon of the joint venture.
Sorry, Barry.
And so who's going to win the premiership?
That's a lot harder question.
Yeah, but you have to answer it.
No, you said ladder. You didn't say who's going to win.
No, we did. Premiership and Wooden Spooners.
Yep.
I'll go Panthers then.
Okay.
haters going to hate.
No, lose one to win one, mate.
All right, I've got my top four will be the Rabbitohs, the Panthers, the Roosters, and the Storm. Then the Raiders, the Eels, the Warriors, who I think will have a good season, and the Titans just to scrape into the 8 against some other competition. I think my Chooks had a really bad end of the season with a lot of injuries, and I think they're a better side than they showed last year, and I reckon that they will be there when it matters.
So does Cooper Cronk, by the way.
Whatever. And I think I agree. The Bronx or the Dragons for the spoon, and I think it will be the Broncos again. I think what's his name? Kevin Walters is a brilliant bloke, lovely fella, but I just don't know whether he's got it in him to bring them out of the bottom.
Okay, now let me tell you what's actually going to happen.
So you tell me as are the Chooks, mine's the Panthers, right?
Top 8. Rabbitohs, minor premiers. Panthers, Raiders, Eels, Storm, Roosters, Titans, Bulldogs.
Bulldogs?
Bulldogs.
Shows he doesn't know what he's talking about. Right off the bat, you get it.
Bulldogs will scrape into the bottom of the top 8.
No.
And I've got Roosters coming 6th. My premiers...
Yeah, we already knew that, but you'd like to make a point of that. Yes.
That's right. My premiers are the Rabbitohs, because I think
they're a chance.
I think
they're a real chance.
Big chance this year. And my wooden spoon is the Dragons.
Barry.
Dun dun dun. Sorry,
Wow.
It's gone. Okay.
Well, talk about hate. At least I put your teams in the 8.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah, but you honestly, do you really believe Manly are going to make the 8?
So that brings us to the draw.
Okay. All right, so gentlemen, let's have a look at the draw, and let's have a look at Thursday night, which is the kickoff to the season, down at Amy Park, Melbourne Storm against the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Wow, what a game this is going to be.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it will be.
Yep.
I have I went from one to the other in terms of winning, because my first thought was Melbourne, they just don't ever lose. And then I thought, well, South's are touted to have a really big year, and they would want to go down there and win for the very first time. They've never, ever won in Melbourne.
Haven't they?
No.
No, never.
And Melbourne have never lost a round one while Craig Bellamy's been the coach. So that's a big hoodoo to break. And I thought, well, maybe the Rabbitohs can do this. But then I thought, nah, I'm going to go back to Melbourne. But I don't think it'll be by much. I think Melbourne will just have enough a home ground advantage. They're also having a whole year last year where they didn't play at home. So that's another thing.
I've gone bunnies because I always do anyway.
Of course.
I really believe this will be the first year South will beat Melbourne at Amy Park.
Well, it's possible for sure.
I'm extremely confident.
Mm-hmm.
No Cameron Smith.
No Harry Grant.
No Harry Grant.
Yep.
No busted foot. Can't think of his name.
Brenko Lee's out.
Yep.
Brenko Lee. None other forward. Jesse Bromwich.
Oh, really? Is he out too? Well, that could change things.
Yeah, I actually think this will be. Jeez, I tell you, we have
Maybe
to knock out a lot of them to be able to.
Maybe I'm going to splinter on this one. So, what are you doing?
Souths.
Yep. Okay.
Geez, that was quick.
Yeah, I don't need to give long-winded explanations. My opinion is correct.
Let's go on to McDonald
See
Jones.
what we've got to contend with.
Yeah, let's go on to McDonald Jones Stadium, where the Newcastle Knights are playing the Canterbury Bulldogs.
And I've gone for a roughie. I've gone for an upset. I think that the Canterbury Bulldogs will surprise people. And I think that they'll actually come out and give the Newcastle Knights a shock.
Well, I've actually gone the Bulldogs as well.
Knights. See, you guys have got no idea. I'm telling you.
Jeez,
I know. Look, I know Kalen Pong is out, and I know that the Bulldogs have brought in a whole bunch of really good backs. Like their problem last year was they couldn't score points. They brought in, Corey Allen, Nick Kotrick, Kyle Flanagan.
Yep.
But I just don't think the Knights are going to let it slip at home to a team that finished second last.
I think a lot of stuff that went on in the off season, I think is going to rock them for a little bit longer. I think.
Suncorp Stadium, where the Broncos are playing the Parramatta Eels.
Oh, seriously. I can't see the Broncos winning this, even at Suncorp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone Eels as well.
Even if the Broncos improve, it's not going to happen in the first few weeks.
You got to look at it. The best two players from the Broncos last year were Katoni Staggs and Payne Haas, both out.
Yeah.
Corey Oates is out as well.
Yeah, but there you go. I just, yeah.
Okay. Central Coast Stadium, Warriors and the Titans.
I've got the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone the Titans as well.
Only through travel, Titans, yeah. I think the Warriors will be much improved, but no thanks.
Well, the Warriors aren't travelling. They'll be at home.
Yeah, but still...
Oh, no, sorry. There's Mount Smart. It's not going to be Mount Smart. It's going to be Central Coast.
That's Central Coast.
Yeah. So, home game for the Warriors, but I think the Titans will be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll be wanting to prove a point.
Now, hang on. I want to ask Brian this question first.
Sure.
Yep.
Roosters or Eagles?
Oh, Eagles, for sure. You can't.
Sorry. You looked down when you said it. Look into the camera and say that.
You can't not back your team in the first game of the season,
even if they're going to be smashed by the Roosters.
Oh, look, I don't. I'm not convinced that's going to happen, but I think the Roosters will win.
I can only say I'm a little disappointed in the team that Desi's chosen. I'm not particularly confident that the 1 to 17 that's listed is going to be running out.
Peter Peters has come out and said you guys are going to finish bottom 4.
What would he know?
Okay. On that note, Penrith Panthers and North Queensland at Panthers Stadium.
Hang on, Steve. Are you going Manly or the Roosters?
Yes, you didn't say.
Because I don't want to. I'm going Roosters.
Oh, you're a hateful man. You reckon I'm a hateful man? I at least picked your team.
Yeah, because you know they're going to win.
It's not about sentiment.
And you only picked Manly because you said you can't go against your team. You didn't put any value into it. You just said, I can't go against my team.
You know what? We could be 4-0 or 0-4 after the first 4 games of this season.
Panthers and North Queensland at Panthers Stadium.
Oh, Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers at home. They'll be buoyed by last year. Big home crowd. They're very parochial.
Yeah, I agree.
And North Queensland, they're an unknown factor. This is why I wanted to do my 8 next week.
Well, you see, I don't see. You know what everybody's saying? Everybody's on the back of Tamalolo saying, he should be playing out on an edge. They're using him as a middle forward. He's devastating. Why would you change what works?
Anywhere. Yeah.
Anyway, that's another story. Sure. But yeah, no, Panthers.
Okay, we're going GIO Stadium with Raiders and the Tigers.
Yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders I've got Raiders, but you know what? I think the Tigers are going to have a good year, and I almost put them in the 8.
The Raiders in the trials, what I saw, I thought they looked very good, and in fact, I think I put them outside of the 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're well in contention this year. I think.
Yeah, Adam Dewey isn't playing.
Isn't he?
I don't understand that
because he was in trial at 5'8".
Yeah,
and playing pretty well.
So. Mbai's playing 5'8", Luke Brooks at half, and Dane Laurie at fullback.
Yep.
I don't understand why Adam Dewey was setting the world on fire in the trials, and he's not making that team.
Do you think Michael Maguire's playing games?
No, because you have to put forward your 21, and you cut that to 17,
19,
or 19, yeah, and he's not in their 21.
Oh, really?
I don't understand.
He's got to be injured.
I don't understand.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the last game of the round with Netstrata Jubilee Stadium, where Dragons are playing the Sharks.
Anybody got a coin?
Nah, Sharks will win this. The Sharks aren't that bad on paper.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think either of these teams are going to make the top 8, obviously.
No.
I think they're both going to struggle this year.
Sharks for me.
Sharks for me, only because the Dragons are playing so poorly at the moment. But you know what? Yep. They might come out.
But and to be fair too, the Dragons were woeful at the Charity Shield.
Yes.
But they were playing a pretty red hot team. So it wasn't probably a fair gauge on how they're going.
So Brian, can you tell us about the footy tipping competition?
Footy tipping comp. Now, for those of us that are following on Facebook, we actually have a footy tipping comp. It's an iTip Footy page. If we've got 138 people on the Facebook page, we should have 138 tipsters. We've got about 20, so come on, guys, pull your fingers out. We'd love to congratulate the winner each week of the round, but it's going to be me. So,
and hey, I was told that you put up a prize.
Yeah, we'll figure out that.
Yeah. There'll be a prize.
I was told it was an ugly mug, but I didn't know that we had it.
There's got to be a prize.
There'll be a prize. We'll have a prize.
We've got a whole year to think about it.
They'll organise a prize. You don't think you want to tell them at the beginning of the competition, see if it's worth it at the end?
No. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. And there's also a fantasy league team. These guys don't do fantasy league because they've only got he's red and green, he's red and blue, and I actually follow all the teams. So I'm the unbiased neutral one. Feel free to put in a fantasy league team as well.
All right.
If you haven't switched off by now,
If you haven't switched
This
off
is
by
what you
now,
get. This is what you
If
get.
you haven't switched off by now, you're not going to switch off. Hopefully. All right, Brian, you wanted to talk about a couple of things before we say goodbye.
Did I?
Yes, you did, and I believe Cooper Cronk was mentioned.
All right, here goes.
All right, here you go.
All right, I'm being nice,
I
aren't
want
I,
to make
Steve?
this. I want to make this a segment. A fine wine with Brian.
All right.
WHINE.
Okay, I just want to put my 2 cents worth in because everybody else has. Cooper Cronk is working for 2 clubs, and I'm a little bit surprised that the media blow-up has been as huge as it has. There have been a number of football players in the past, retired halves, that have come out and coached the halves pairings at various clubs and mentored them. The problem is that when this story blew, Phil Rothfield was sent a photograph of Cooper Cronk at Melbourne training, and when he approached Melbourne and Cooper's manager, they both said, "Nah, there's nothing in that. It didn't happen." Well, it did happen, and it was there. So I actually am not a big Buzz Rothfield fan. However, I think he was 100% within his right to publish that article. And NRL 360 had an interview with the 2 men in question.
Yep.
And it was an absolute blow up. And one thing that kept coming out was that Cooper Cronk was continuing to say that his integrity was questioned. I think that if you are working at a club and the club says no, he's not, that's justifiable in saying what's going on. And I actually believe that through that interview, Cooper Cronk was continuing to question Buzz Rothfield's integrity by saying, "You couldn't do it.
He didn't do that.
You couldn't do it, but I can.
The point-
I can. You can't." Like,
Well,
I would be massively upset.
Massively.
I'm surprised that he took it.
The
But
thing
anyway,
is, it went back onto the.
so-
it should go back onto the
okay,
club
so can we-
to be accountable for that because Panisi actually made an error. And he
an
apologised. He apologised to Cooper Cronk.
made an error.
Can we go back to the facts of it
Please.
though? Can Cooper Cronk coach 2 different football teams? I mean, I know you're talking about Andrew Johns at Parramatta and a couple of other clubs,
Yeah.
but you know what? Most of those clubs were never the powerhouses that Melbourne and the Roosters are.
Yeah, look, I've got no problem. I've got no
hang on,
problem
but
at
hang on,
all.
They meet in the grand final.
Yep.
He
Well,
said,
he answered
I'll
his
be,
question.
He did. He said, "I'll be on the Roosters." But
Yeah.
I tell you what, his heart's got to be over the other side as well.
I think he's a man of his word, and if he tells you that he's going to be with the Roosters, then he's with the Roosters.
I've got no problem with it at all. I've just got a problem with
We're making plenty of it.
Well, no, I've got a problem with him calling out a journalist for putting together an article that was factual, and
I agree.
and I'll be honest right now for anyone out there listening.
So you're not honest before?
I'm always honest.
Okay.
I don't like Melbourne.
Oh, you've
and
been honest about that.
I'm being honest about that. And Melbourne have got Cooper Cronk on their books as a coach. You can't tell me Cooper Cronk's come out and said, "I've had 2 face-to-face 5-minute meetings." Well, I hope he's only getting paid a couple of $100 because that's all it's worth for 5 minutes.
Oh, I don't know.
I bet you that was a little bit of was that a stretching of the truth?
Roosters have come out and said that both clubs have spoken to each other and they're both comfortable with the arrangement.
Yeah.
So
I
don't
agree.
see what the big
Okay,
deal is.
I want to bring it now to Adam Reynolds.
Yeah, look, I've heard a rumour.
I'm gutted by this.
I've heard a rumour. He's going to sign for 1 year, then the Roosters are going to punt their half and sign Adam Reynolds.
Please. Adam Reynolds has 1 green eye and 1 red eye, and there is no way he would ever go to the Roosters.
Yeah, so did Luke Keary.
For love nor money. No.
The Roosters.
Keary wasn't a diehard of the team, and
Crichton.
he got kicked out by the.
The Roosters.
Owner.
The Roosters just stealing all the South players.
Let's be clear. Wayne Bennett watches this show all the time. Wayne had a talk to Rusty the other day when they were training, and I believe Wayne's watching as well. Sorry, Rusty's watching. Yeah, who am I
Rusty?
talking about? Rusty's watching as
Rusty
well.
and Wayne are watching.
Re-sign Adam Reynolds.
Yeah.
Please re-sign him.
Well, I think he
3
deserves to
years
be
is fine.
re-signed.
No.
Yep.
What?
2
You know
years.
what'll happen?
2
It'll be
years.
2 years with the club option for
Yeah,
the third.
and that's fine.
Yep,
And,
that makes,
and it
that,
should be.
You know what? That makes
we got
sense.
burnt with Inglis and with Burgess,
Yep.
and that should never happen
You
again.
could do what the Roosters do with Cooper Cronk. Just pay him like nothing, and then coaching role for the next 10 years.
We are a.
Oh, you're above board.
You're above board.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, you cited those 2 examples of Inglis and Burgess, and you should have kept your mouth shut. But I don't like the Rabbitohs. But Adam Reynolds is Rabbitohs through and through. I love watching him. He's got the best short kicking game in the comp.
World.
And possibly, but But he deserves and should be staying as a Rabbitoh.
Yes, and he will.
Yep.
Please.
I hope he
Wayne,
goes.
Rusty, sign him.
I hope he goes
What
to the Roosters far out.
I tell you, we do not have this show anymore if he goes to the Roosters. I tell you,
I'm loving that.
I'm not standing next to him.
I'm loving that. Yep, continue. Sorry, there was something else, Steve?
No, was there anything else we want to talk? Because we're nearing end of time. Is there anything else you wanted to throw in before we...
Footy's back.
You were going to say something
wait.
about rule changes?
I just want to talk... very quickly, I want to talk about the rule change where you now don't have to finish your roster until 4 weeks out from the semis. I think it's a bad rule. I think it's going to open to manipulation, and I don't like it.
Conspiracy theory, number one.
Yes.
Cameron Smith is not aligning himself with the club because he's going to get a call about August to make a late run with Storm.
Yeah.
You
That's
bet.
got nothing to do with rule changes.
Or the Titans, or the Broncos.
Yeah.
So here I was thinking about we're going to talk about the 6 again for 10 metre infringements.
No, this is the important one. Those other ones aren't important.
Speeding up the game.
Yeah,
Making the game better.
Yeah, but you can't speed up the game too much. At some point, you've got to
No, you
be able
can.
to players
You can.
breathe.
No, you
No,
don't.
even the players are now starting to argue. Okay, anything intelligent you want to finish with?
No, mighty Eagles. Go! Teach
Intelligent.
those Roosters!
Tom?
I just want to see the footy back. Can't wait.
So am I. I can't wait. Thank you for joining us tonight. You are watching NRL from the Sidelines with Tom, Brian and Steve. Now it's actually Steve, Tom and Brian. And please look out for our other shows coming on. Please go to our Facebook page and join the tipping competition. Make any comments you want to make. Nice comments you want to make about us. Good looking guys.
Mean comments if it's about Tom and Steve, I don't mind.
Enjoy the banter. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya.